Road to Glory is a mode in the college football franchise that I have always been a huge fan of, but I really don't feel like it had its potential realized in College Football 25. So here are my 3 wish list items that I have for Road to Glory in College Football 26. So first off, I think, like a lot of people, Road to Glory needs a high school origin moment. So much of the charm and the beauty of this mode is the immersion that you feel, lacing up the shoes and being a college football student athlete yourself. And I really think the immersion and the life of this mode has to start at the high school level, at least to some degree. So I think in College Football 26, imagine if we had even just a state championship game you could play in your high school, generic uniforms, generic players, kind of like it was in old games, and you could have your player based on their star rating, either have an overall in that game, have a more difficult time to prove themselves in that game, but if they're able to pull off a state championship win or have success, or the opposite, not have success, that be deterministic in at least some of their outcome in the following season. Maybe they get a mental trait because of it or something like that. But I think College Football 26 Road to Glory having a high school moment would go such a long way in, again, just giving the mode some immersion, give your character some lore, because again, you're going to be ideally in this mode playing with the same character for 4 years, which I don't know about anyone watching this video, but I have never actually made it through all 4 years of a Road to Glory run because it just feels too monotonous and I'm not as connected to the character as I feel like I could be. So this, for me, I think would really help to achieve that end goal. My second wish list item is an on-campus social space. Now, hear me out on this. I'm a fan of the 2K games, the NBA 2K games, but I think they have become like this hilarious GTA-like thing. So I'm not asking for that for College Football 26 at all. However, can you imagine how cool it would be to have like a fake quad, like an outdoor quad, even just like a student union, a dorm room even, something where you can move your player around in street clothes and either interact with just other NPC college students, classmates, fans of yours, run into coaches on campus, other players on your team maybe on campus as NPCs that you could interact with dialogue. Or what if, even maybe farther reaching as far as a dream goes for this, is let's say you commit to the University of Oklahoma. What if they had, there's an iconic space on that campus called the South Oval that's kind of near the football stadium on the southern edge of campus. What if you had the ability to walk around and see other players, real players, that committed to the University of Oklahoma in the South Oval running around, and you could just, again, see what they look like, all that kind of stuff. Or again, maybe even just take out the players, take out the unique college spaces, because I understand the scans for that would be pretty unrealistic. But again, just like an outdoor, generic, collegiate social space, and being able to run around, I think would add so much. Because think about it. Then if your player has NIL offerings, you can buy street clothes, you can have different things to kind of swag out that player. Maybe not to the extent that you can in the 2K games, which again have gotten a little ridiculous. But still, this mode at its core, at its heart, is a student athlete, college football player, almost like life sim, where obviously the gameplay of the your character playing their games is the core element, and that's not going anywhere. But I think all of the what's going on around that is where EA really needs to step it up, and I think this kind of social space would do wonders. Even if it was like just NPCs or any player that's online right now, it would be a lot of fun to be able to incorporate this mode. And what about being able to play a pickup game with everyone who's in Road to Glory using their players? It would just be unreal to incorporate this into this mode. I think it shows the potential this mode has if you really start to think about all the things you could do with a lot of people and a created student athlete. My third and final point before I wrap up this video is that cutscenes are a necessary evil for Road to Glory. Listen, I have skipped my fair share of cutscenes, just like I'm sure anyone listening to this video has, but at the end of the day, not having really any in College Football 25 felt like it took a little bit of the heart out of the mode. I mean, yes, it was funny to kind of make the text-based decisions to skip class and go to the party or whatever it may be, right? But again, show us some of what's happening. So if we get promoted to the starting spot, show us in the coach's office getting that starting role. yeah, we might click through it, but it's an important enough moment that I think we need to see it actually play out versus just reading that it happened on screen. I think that the power in those two things is so different. And again, could you imagine, taking this one step further again? There's that classic option in College Football 25 where you show up late to class because you go to the party. Could you imagine them showing your player at the party? Just around a lot of people, generic club music, everyone holding red Solo cups, and then it cuts to your player looking like really groggy in class. I think if they would have something like that, which I don't feel like is a lot of effort, it would be hilarious. And I think a lot of people would buy into that and enjoy the cutscenes. And again, I think this is contingent, though, on making them special, making them entertaining, because I think when you put too many cutscenes in a sports game like this, people will inevitably just click right through them, move on, and it'll be like they shouldn't even be in the game anyway. In any case, these are just my hopes and dreams for College Football 26 Road to Glory. I think this mode has unbelievable potential, especially as the game continues to scale. I understand that a lot of it wasn't in College Football 25 because, we hadn't had a game in a decade. They were just trying to get, I guess, a solid product out there. I hear a lot of that and I understand it, but I think this is something that can be improved a lot moving forward, and again, is a mode that I just care a lot about and would love to see kind of leveled up in College Football 26. But that's going to do it for all my thoughts here in this video. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and subscribe. We are going to be covering College Football 26 extensively here on the Gamehouse YouTube channel, as well as on our website, thegamehouse.com. So if you enjoy written content as well, we are actually a sports, esports, and gaming site. So we have a lot of NFL coverage, NBA coverage, college football, the game, and in real life coverage. So if you're a fan of any of that, be sure to check out the website, subscribe here, and from our house to yours, we'll see you all next time.